Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and we have quite the video ahead of us today. You know, it's a new M. Night Shyamalan movie, so we have twists to talk about, spoilers to get into, and overall, do I like this movie? Of course, I love M. Night Shyamalan. Alright, let's talk about his latest film, Trap. Like I said in the intro, M. Night Shyamalan is a filmmaker I quite adore. I think he is wacky, wild, but he's so fresh, he's lively, he's always doing what he wants to do. What's the current trend in Hollywood? He does not care. He's making an M. Night Shyamalan film, and I appreciate and I respect that. So with his new film, Trap, I went into it expecting just that, okay? Make your own film. Here is the fairly spoiler-filled trailer you gave us. Here's Josh Hartnett. Where can we go from there? Well, overall, I'm going to give you my quick review before I get into the kind of recap explaining the movie the best that I can explain it with it. You know, it's a fairly simple movie. Nothing is too complicated here. Your note taken for an M. Night Shyamalan movie is not as detailed as it would normally be, but that's what I actually like about the movie. I do appreciate what it can be as a film. It's easy, simple, straightforward, tells me everything I need to know, and I quite adore that it just is tight, easy filmmaking. It's M. Night Shyamalan doing what he does best, being wackadoo, being crazy, but also being inventive still. This movie feels fresh. It doesn't feel like what's coming out now. It feels like a lot like a 90s made for television film that you would see for USA Network, maybe for a TNT. You would see it on a rainy Saturday evening, and you would be like, wow, what is this movie? That's exactly what this is. Good and bad. This movie's not jam-packed. There's not a lot of details in it, but it still gives you enough to sink your teeth into with a fun performance from Josh Hartnett. He is doing the most. The other actors are fine. We'll talk about some of them throughout the review, but Josh Hartnett is the centerpiece of this film, and he is at an 11, which is not an actor I normally see doing this much at once, and I very much appreciate M. Night for bringing it out of Josh Hartnett, and I also appreciate Josh Hartnett for going for broke. It's nice to see, and it elevates the movie. Again, the movie is not complicated. It's not too hard to follow. It does what it needs to do. It's in and out, but overall, the performance, the direction, makes a simple story with a fairly twist-filled, not even twist, a turn-filled journey, makes it easy to watch and digestible, and honestly, one of my favorites I've seen this summer. The spoiler section for the review begins now, so if you have not seen the movie, you do not want it to be spoiled, well, tune it out now, go see the movie. I highly recommend you see it. If you like M. Night, this isn't going to win anyone over, but it still does what it needs to do, and I enjoyed it, so spoilers begin now. Cooper is a father taking his daughter Riley to a concert. Lady Raven is a Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, like, huge legion of fans, very passionate, pack in an arena. So Cooper decides to take his daughter to this concert. They, got a ticket. It was nice to go to. They're having a good time until they start noticing security's a little packed. It's not a normal setup, it seems. It just seems to have an extra edge to it. Our father character, Cooper, is a great dad. He's just being aware of his surroundings, or is there more to it? Well, when he asks a worker there, who he ends up befriending, this worker, you've seen him in the trailer, ends up kind of being one of those small characters in an M. Night movie that just steals the show. You've seen them, each M. Night movie has a character like this where you're like, I love you. What are you doing, you weirdo? So he befriends Cooper. He tells Cooper, hey, we're actually doing a trap to get a serial killer. The butcher is around. We got to get him. This is a trap. Ooh, well, Cooper is the butcher, and he was just like, holy smokes, how do I get out of this scenario? And throughout the film, for the bulk of it, as he's trying to bond with his daughter while also doing all of this, he's trying to figure out how he's going to escape it because they have locked it down. He knows basically once he gets confronted with what's happening, he is caught. So he's sneaky, he's moving around. For one point, Josh Hartnett was supposed to play Batman. I got my little Batman moments here. The sneaking around, maybe not being a serial killer, but you know what I mean? There's a detective, a old school crime vibe to this where he's having to, be sneaky, get around this place, a little bit of a spy vibe. I like that. It gets a little Okay, Josh Hartnett, you are doing again the most with your choices here. So what does he do? What can he do to get out of the scenario? He's facing off with a profiler named Grant, Dr. Grant, who is, I mean, this actress as well is just eating it up. There's performances in this movie that I'm like, you don't need to be doing what you're doing in an M. Night movie, summer blockbuster that's, a mid range summer blockbuster. What are you doing? They're eating it up. So, as he's facing off with Grant in the FBI, he decides to take matters into his own hands and he is going to use Lady Raven as his prop. Oh my goodness, the movie takes a big dramatic shift here. The first of two dramatic shifts, and I quite like this one, at least more than the other one. You expect Lady Raven to be a background character. She's kind of played this, looming figure singing some of the songs, being the centerpiece of the concert, but not being the centerpiece of the film. Well, once she is introduced to Cooper's character, who she knows a little bit more about than you would think initially, she's kind of involved with some of the profiling. You kind of realize Cooper's been screwed from the get-go. So once this happens, she's just like, in defense mode. This character, this actress who's played by M. Night's daughter, becomes a centerpiece to the story, and she starts being great. She's like one-upping Cooper's character. I liked seeing their back and forths of like her having to like steal stuff to, get the phone, to do this, to do that. It was smart, and we're watching him kind of meet somebody who he has to confront his abilities as well. And, he uses her, kidnaps her, he's gonna get home. And this is, this is where it starts getting a little bit more complicated, a little bit more of the machinings of the film start happening. He escapes one safe house to go to another. He ends up being her driver, goes to his house, and that is the big second part of this movie is, well, Cooper has had an inside person trying to figure this out, and it's been his wife. Whoa, I didn't expect it to happen. It happened. It adds something to the film. Maybe not my favorite twist, but from this moment on, we're seeing Cooper now have Dr. Grant, Lady Raven, his wife. It just feels like everyone is against him, and he seems to just lose. And we're like, oh, okay, fine. That's what you expect from a movie like this. Let's wrap things up in a nice bow. But what are we watching? An M. Night movie. We have one last moment to shock us. And yeah, it's a subtle shock. It's a subtle moment, which I think is going to be the most divisive part of this film. But he seemingly breaks free. We see Josh Hartnett's character, and it's very psycho. Psycho, especially when we learn the vague backstory with his mother. Why was that there? I don't need my serial killers to have a backstory. They kill people. That's all I need. But yes, we in another psycho moment, this like close up of his deranged face, he is able to pick the lock, and that's how it ends. Is he going to be able to get free? What's going to happen? There's a post-credit scene that I feel like still, again, doesn't add much to it, but it seems like M. Night wants to leave the door open for another trap movie. And honestly, with Josh Hartnett's performance and the universe they set up, and maybe more killers can be introduced, maybe have Haley Joel Osment come and he's helping the dead from beyond or something crazy, something else could happen here, because Trap is a decent premise with a decent execution and some fun, wacky performances. Trap has an open ending that will likely be divisive, but what did you make of the ending? What did you make of the film? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. I had a blast watching and talking about this with you all today. M. Night is, again, one of my favorite filmmakers working today. Even at my least favorite one of his movies, I still appreciate what he does. So do you feel that way about M. Night? What did you feel about this movie? Did you get the twist and turns? What were your predictions? I thought the daughter was going to be the serial killer the whole time. That was my, show the trailer, maybe that's going to be the twist. Wasn't there. There's always room for that. M. Night loves his family films. Give me more family-related stuff. I like where he's going. I like this movie. Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Give me your thoughts. Give me your feelings. Give me a thumbs up as well. And a subscription. Subscribe to our channel. Let's talk about Trap right down below.